Morning everyone, just in Yellowstone National Park again today. This behind me is Yellowstone Lake. In the distance you can see some snow-capped mountains. They're the North Tetons. We went to the Grand Prismatic pools today. They were absolutely beautiful. Various other little geysers and pools. We stayed last night in West Yellowstone and we're heading again today to Cody. We're going to be going past Fishing Bridge and then through Wind River tunnels. So yeah, another great ride. It's beautiful sky and you know, it doesn't look cold but it is quite chilly. Just beautiful. All the foliage is changing for fall/autumn. Yeah, this is the prettiest we've ever been through Yellowstone.
Just leaving West Yellowstone, heading into Yellowstone National Park, going to Midway Geyser Basin first to look at the prism pools, and then to Old Faithful. Good morning, Silver Gypsies.
Good morning.
So we've just left West Yellowstone and we've just, as you saw in my previous video, we've just, previous footage, we've just entered Yellowstone National Park, so we're about 5 miles in at the moment. It's an absolutely beautiful day, quite crisp. It's about 6 degrees Celsius at the moment.
Yeah, we actually had ice on our seats and on our panniers and tall packs this morning.
Well, the first place we're going to is the Midway Geyser Basin. So that's where the all the pools of water are formed through thermal currents of water under the ground, and then they're forced through the surface due to heat through fissures in the rock. Now that water, when it reaches the surface in the pools, which we'll show you later, it is crystal clear with such beautiful colours. We've been there a couple of times before, but apart from the fact that it's a national park and you can't swim in there because of that, you couldn't anyway because the water temperature is boiling, so 100 degrees Celsius. But the colours are just absolutely amazing.
Sidra Geyser. This one is a crowd favourite. This nearly constant performer splashes from several vents and its steam can be seen throughout the lower geyser basin. Its name is Greek for water clock and was given because the geyser used to erupt regularly every 3 minutes. Since the 1959 earthquake, however, Clepsydra erupts almost without pause. But how does a geyser actually work?
So that was the fountain paint pots that we just went to.
Yeah, so good. Hadn't been there before. It was amazing.
Fantastic collection of geysers.
Yeah.
The Excelsior Geyser Crater is a 200 by 300 foot crater that constantly discharges more than 4,000 gallons of crystal clear boiling water per minute into the Firehole River. Absolutely amazing colour.
The Grand Prismatic Spring in Yellowstone National Park is the largest hot spring in the United States and the third largest in the world, after Frying Pan Lake in New Zealand and Boiling Lake in Dominica. Grand Prismatic Spring was noted by geologists in 1871 and named by them for its striking coloration. Its colours match most of those seen in the rainbow dispersion of white light by an optical prism: red, orange, yellow, green and blue. The bright vivid colours in the spring are the result of microbial mats around the edges of the mineral-rich water. The mats produce colours ranging from green to red, and in the summer the mats tend to be orange and red, whereas in the winter the mats are usually dark green. The centre of the pool is sterile due to extreme heat. The deep blue colour of the water in the centre of the pool results from the intrinsic blue colour of water. The effect is strongest in the centre of the spring because of its sterility and depth.
Old Faithful was named in 1870 during an expedition and was the first geyser in the park to be named. It's a highly predictable geothermal feature and has erupted every 44 minutes to 2 hours since 2000. Old Faithful's not the tallest or largest geyser in the park. Those titles belong to the less predictable Steamboat Geyser. The reliability of Old Faithful can be attributed to the fact that it is not connected to any other thermal features of the upper geyser basin. Eruptions can shoot 32,000 litres of boiling water to a height of 56 metres, lasting from 1.5 to 5 minutes. In the early days of the park, Old Faithful was often used as a laundry, as quoted by early explorers. Old Faithful is sometimes degraded by being made a laundry. Garments placed in the crater between eruptions are ejected, thoroughly washed when the eruptions take place. General Sheridan's men in 1882 found that linen and cotton fabrics were undamaged by the action of the water, but woolen clothes were torn to shreds.
With its log and limb lobby and massive stone fireplace, the Old Faithful Inn is an example of the golden age of rustic mountain architecture, a style which is also known as National Park Service rustic. It is one of the few log hotels still standing in the United States and was the first of the great park lodges of the American West. Initial construction was carried out over the winter of 1903 to 1904, largely using local obtained materials including lodgepole pine and rhyolite stone. When the Old Faithful Inn first opened in the spring 1904, it boasted electric lights and steam heat. The interior contains 4 stories of balconies, but only the bottom 2 are open to the public. The central feature of the old house is a tall gabled log structure housing the lobby, dominated by a deep, steeply pitched shingle roof. The old house uses a log pole interior framework supporting 7 stories, 6 of which are the roof structure. Both interior and exterior framing is supported by twisted or curved branches, giving the entire structure a strongly rustic air. There are 2 levels of balconies, the lower encircling the lobby and the upper on 2 sides. Stairs climb from the second balcony to a platform in the framing known as the Crow's Nest, which was once used by musicians to entertain guests. The stone fireplace measures 16 feet or 5 metres square at the base. It features 4 main hearths, 1 on each face, with smaller hearths, each with a flue at the corners. The stone extends to the roof, and until it was damaged by an earthquake, a brick flue extended above the roof, covered in log cribbing. An ironwork clock decorates the north face of the upper chimney in the lobby.
Situated at over 7,700 feet above sea level, or 2,500 metres, Yellowstone Lake is the largest high elevation lake in North America. It is roughly 20 miles long and 14 miles wide. Yellowstone Lake freezes over completely every winter in late December or early January, with ice thicknesses varying from a few inches to more than 2 feet. The lake usually thaws in late May or early June. Yellowstone Lake remains icy cold year-round, with an average temperature of only 41 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 5 degrees Celsius. Because of the extremely cold water, swimming is not recommended. Survival time is estimated to be only 20 to 30 minutes in water at this temperature. Yellowstone Lake has the largest population of wild cutthroat trout in North America. How a Pacific Ocean fish was trapped in a lake that drains to the Atlantic puzzled experts for years. Scientists now believe that Yellowstone Lake once drained to the Pacific Ocean via an outlet canyon and the Snake River, and that fish swam across the continental divide at Two Oceans Pass. Lake trout, an illegally introduced exotic species, is now found in Yellowstone Lake and threatens the existence of the native cutthroat trout. Located outside of Cody, Wyoming's dizzying Smith Mansion is rumoured to be built over a mine shaft or by the hands of a madman or as a perverse joke. But the truth is that it's simply the work of a man who could not stop building. Located in the picturesque Wapiti Valley, the former home of builder and engineer Lee Smith rises out of the landscape in a seemingly random collection of wooden terraces and staircases. Smith began building the home for his wife and children from locally harvested logs and wood, and early on the house had a fairly mundane form. However, after completing the basic home, Smith continued to build, adding floors and seemingly tacked-on balconies. Even after his devotion to the building project led to a divorce, Smith simply redoubled his efforts, building winding staircases and scenic terraces on the upper floors. Tragically, Smith fell to his death while working untethered on one of the upper balconies.
The history of Buffalo Bill Dam and Cody Country is rooted in the rich lore of the Old West. Buffalo Bill State Park was named for Colonel William F. Buffalo Bill Cody, famous as a Wild West showman, promoter and developer. He first came to the region in the 1870s as a guide for a survey expedition and spent the next 20 years guiding and sponsoring hunting parties in the area.
Buffalo Bill Cody was influential in bringing irrigation and agricultural development into the area and founded the town in 1896 that bears his name. Some of the land now occupied by Buffalo Bill State Park was originally owned by Colonel Cody and was acquired from him by the federal government to implement the reservoir project.
Work began on the dam in 1905. When completed in 1910, it was the highest dam in the world at 325 feet. Buffalo Bill State Park was established in 1957 and provided recreational areas and facilities along the original shoreline. In 1993, an 8-year project was completed that raised the crest of the dam 25 feet and increased the reservoir storage capacity. The enlarged reservoir inundated the former recreation areas and required removal of the old park facilities. Buffalo Bill State Park has been redeveloped as part of that project.
We arrived in Cody and checked into the awesome Western Rose Motel with our friends Brenda and Mark, or Chief Talk-A-Lot, as he is known to his friends. We were going to stay in Cody a few days. We'd been here twice before, but only briefly. This time, we were going to have a good look around. The Buffalo Bill Museum is world class, with 5 separate museums under the roof and a mini zoo with local animals and birds. And the history in the town is not to be missed, including the buildings and a staged Western gunfight. We completed our stay with a desert mountain tour in Chief Talk-A-Lot side by side, which we showcase on our next episode before heading into Canada.